Welcome, everyone. My name is Jimmy Benson, Director of New District Engagement with Project Lead the Way. Welcome to the PLTW Gateway Virtual Showcase at 𝐲𝐻𝐬 School in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We have an action-packed hour for you today, so let's get started right away. After this intro, I'll share an overview of PLTW and the Gateway program. Then we'll go to our host middle school to see PLTW Gateway Classroom in action. We will hear from students, one of their teachers, and hear perspectives from additional educators across the country. And of course, you'll have time to answer your questions. Just a few quick housekeeping items. Feel free to ask your questions at any time. You can do that by entering them in the chat. Unless you're voicing a question, please have your mic muted to limit background noise. You can also update your screen preferences to control the view that you see. At the end, we will be sure to allow time for Q&A, and after our event, we'll send you resources and the recording of this event that you can share with your colleagues. Project Lead the Way provides transformative learning experiences for pre-K through 12 students and teachers across the U.S. We create an engaging, hands-on classroom environment and empower students to develop in-demand knowledge and skills they need to thrive. We also provide teachers with professional development, resources, and ongoing support they need to engage students in real-world learning. Our pathway in computer science, engineering, and biomedical science engage students in hands-on activities, projects, and problems, empowering them to solve real-world challenges and inspiring them to reimagine how they see themselves. PLTW has trained over 80,000 teachers with over 15,000 programs in over 12,200 schools. The vertical alignment of the curriculum begins in the earliest grades with PLTW Launch and continues to PLTW Gateway for the middle school, which helps students build on foundational skills as they begin exploring career interests. The experience that PLTW curriculum development team has gained, both in the field and in previous teaching experience, inspires them to continually assess and evolve the curriculum to meet the needs of both students and teachers all across the country. As PLTW designs each unit, we work closely with a strong advisory board, including master teachers and industry business partners, to collect insights and feedback for a unit that best meets students' learning needs and optimizes their experience. The result is a unit that provides explicit connections to career connections and accurately reflects what is happening in the field. PLTW Gateway's 10 units immerse students in hands-on activities, projects, and problems that build upon each other and relate to the world around them. Whether designing an app to address the challenge within their community or building an ankle-foot orthosis for a person with a physical challenge, students engage in critical and creative thinking, build teamwork skills, and learn to try and try again when faced with challenges. To help ensure access to more students everywhere, PLTW provides both Spanish and English versions of all 10 units for both teachers and student additions. PLTW Gateway supports a variety of ways to implement within your school setting, whether it is during the traditional school day, elective rotation brought into the science classroom, or outside the school day, after school activities, summer school, STEM clubs. If you can visualize a way to provide this experience for your students, PLTW Gateway's flexible implementation can bring this to life. Designed to support your STEM learning needs, the curriculum also supports best practices in science education, ensuring an unmatched experience, combining three-dimensional learning with our activity, project, and problem-based approach. We know that equitable access to engaging hands-on content reinforces language development through authentic learning. PLTW Gateway supports literacy and language acquisition in many ways, including through expository texts, opportunities for nonfiction writing and vocabulary development connected to each of the activities, projects, and problems. Along with the ELA integration, PLTW Gateway infuses appropriate grade level math concepts and practices into the learning, whether it be statistical analysis, algebraic equations, or geometric concepts. Students are getting the opportunity to reinforce their cross-curricular learning throughout each unit. Gateway allows students to build upon their elementary STEM experiences and illuminate future-related opportunities. With our vertically aligned pathways, these include connections to the high school program pathways, as well as local career opportunities directly related to the skills and interests they are exploring. Now that you have some context about PLTW and the curriculum, let's see it in action and hear from those that matter most, students and educators. If you would like to see the visit in full screen, please click on the View button at the top of your screen and select Speaker. Let me introduce my teammate, Nick Arvidsson, who will be our guide at our feature school, 𝐲𝐻𝐬. Nick, it's great to see you.
Thanks, Jimmy. Just working on my working on the camera here, making sure I'm facing the right way. Very good. Thanks, Jimmy. I'd like to introduce everyone to our PLTW Gateway teacher today, Miss Tina Gleason. Miss Gleason is an award-winning Gateway instructor at 𝐲𝐨𝐻𝐿 School. A 10-year veteran of PLTW, Miss Gleason is certified in 8 of the Gateway modules. She teaches these same concepts that she teaches in her middle school to her elementary students at the school once a week as well. We are in a school passing period. Sorry, everyone. In addition to teaching PLTW, she coaches and mentors high school and middle school STEM club. These teams offer students the opportunity to participate in STEM competitions like First Lego Robotics, First Robotics, and Future City as great complements to the PLTW courses themselves. Ms. Gleason, thank you for having us today. Please tell us a bit about your school and what we will be seeing in your classroom today.
Hi, Nick. Thanks for having me also. So I am a teacher here at 𝐲𝐿 School, which is one of the Milwaukee public schools. It's an urban school that's right downtown, which is great. We have all Project Lead the Way built in all of our classes from 3rd through 12th grade, which is amazing. Today we're here, our kids are working on the engineering career project that you can find in the module, The Magic of Electrons. And we have a little bit of a twist on it. Instead of them just doing a brochure or writing a book, they are actually going to be building or creating a display product that will display the information about their different engineering careers. And then they each at a team have their own engineering career. So they have to demonstrate and explain how the 3 careers actually integrate together to design and create whatever maybe their display product is, whether it's a bridge or a sports drink or something like that. So yeah, that's what we're here today.
Thank you. With that, let's go see some students. Good morning. How are you? I'm going to put this here, all right? So can you tell me what you're working on today?
We are working on a project that will celebrate all of our engineering jobs.
Okay, you're engineering what? I'm sorry?
Engineering jobs that is assigned.
Engineering jobs. And which one were you assigned? Nuclear engineering. Is that something you're interested in maybe being in the future?
A little bit, yeah.
We'll see. Okay. And what part of the project are you doing today? What specific activity are you working on?
We are just brainstorming what we're going to do and how to make it 3D and how other people can, kind of use it.
Okay. And are you doing this project alone or are you working in a group?
Yeah.
All 4 of you. All 4 of you. So do you have different jobs then? All right. What's yours? Aerospace engineer. What's yours? Software? And an ecosystem engineer. Wow. You all are going to take over the world someday, I think. I'm pretty sure.
Our idea was like the dome, and then I could have engines, and the basement would be like a nuclear reactor to power the entire thing.
Okay.
And in that dome, there could be like an ecosystem, and there could be self-reliant or something. Like you need software for the entire thing.
You do.
Now, since we were assigned to have something that would combine all of our careers, so.
Very good. And how long will you be working on this project? Yeah, how long have you been working on it? Not very long? Okay.
We started on Monday.
Okay. All right. Very good. Well, good luck. Can't wait to see what you come up with.
Hey, Nick, will you get a little bit closer to the kids so we can hear them a little bit better?
Yep. No problem. It's loud and exciting in here, but I'll do my best to get as close as I can.
Love it.
Ladies and gentlemen, 3, 2, 1. Eyes on me. Mouth quiet. Let's bring the voices just down a little bit more, so that they can hear you. Okay? So quieter voices. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. How about this table? Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. What are you working on today?
We're working on dice for our community.
Dice.
We're working on a paragraphs. This is a mini prototype for now.
Okay. And what are you making? What is the dice for?
It's the dice so people can interact with us. They will roll the dice and each side will have a number or our career. And it will have a short paragraph about our career and what we do, and then we'll talk about that career.
Okay, and which specific careers are you focusing on?
Oh, manufacturing. Food engineering. What's yours?
Okay, and what was yours? I'm sorry.
Manufacturing.
Manufacturing. Did you get to pick that, or was it
Yes,
assigned to
I
you?
got to pick that.
You did.
I got to pick it.
And why did you pick that one?
Because I feel like it would be cool to work with stuff like that and work with the advertisement.
That's what you want to do?
Yes, because I love making stuff like that and bringing it out to the world.
That's great. And tell me about how this class helps you explore that career.
Because I get to work with a lot of technology.
Okay, is that your favorite part of this class?
Yes.
What else do you like about your PLTW class?
I like about it because she like assigns us questions that like I never would have thought of.
Oh, really? Like what? What would an example of that be?
Literally, why would you plan? And I don't remember all the questions.
No, that's
I
okay.
don't remember all the questions. They're just random questions.
So you like the technology and you like that the class lets you kind of think about different things. What's the hardest part about the class?
Like making stuff, building.
Actually building it? And what happens when you're trying to build something and it's not going very well? Just try again. Do you do that work alone, or do you do it with your teacher, with other classmates? What does it look like if you? Okay, and this is your super team over here. Okay, so what comes after the cube then? So you'll make the cube, and then what?
After this, we're gonna research the food products. So we have spinning apartments.
Okay, I'm gonna come see that.
And we're gonna put a small dice on top of this and it'll spin manually. And then after that, we will probably, this is just our prototype, but after that, we'll make an actual like hand cardboard dice, then paint it, then put like actual dots on it for it to look like an actual dice. Then that will try and gun it on this and see if that works.
Okay.
And see if it still manually spins.
All right. And how long do you think that will take you to finish this project?
I think maybe a week or so. Yeah.
A week or so?
A week or a little less.
Okay.
And it's even harder because we're only in the class every other day.
You only have this class every other day?
Yeah. And today also we still have to search up the food. I just searched up.
Do you wish you had this class every day?
Yes.
Yeah.
It would be way helpful. Yeah.
After this, you have to go to drama?
Today's 8 days, so I need to get drama.
Okay.
I'd rather have this class and gym.
You'd rather have this class every day instead?
Yeah.
That's what we love to hear. That's what we love to hear.
Because it would give us more time and like that. We wouldn't work on it for a whole week.
Right.
Probably work on it for less. And it would be like snap or done. I mean, the class that we're having right now, we don't usually have.
Right.
It's like helpful.
Right. You get kind of an extra bonus of PLTW this week.
Yeah.
Lucky you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing your project with me. I appreciate it.
Hey, Nick, quick question for them. Do they work solo, in groups? Which one would they prefer?
Okay, so a question's coming from the screen here. You said you're working on this project in a group. Do you always work in groups in this class?
Yes, we are always in teams. Sometimes we do like individual. Yeah, sometimes we have to do our emails alone because and then like sometimes our teammates they work alone at home, so we get a head start.
Okay.
But then like in class, all the teammates are working together. It's like together in a group, but they work on something alone. Wow, and then like they get assigned something to do.
Okay, different roles. Everyone has a different job, right? So your team can work together.
Yeah.
And do you like that most of the work is in groups, or would you prefer to do it alone? In groups?
Because it would be easier and faster.
Easier and faster to do it in groups. You're right about that. Okay, thank you very much. All right, I think we have time for maybe one more table. I think you all are the lucky winners. Do you mind telling us what you're working on today?
So
We're doing.
Sorry. Here,
Okay, we're making something that's a combination of all of ours. Elsie's a biomedical. I'm a computer science. I'm a computer engineer. What are you? And what's Martha? I mean, Lisa's fruit engineer. So we're taking fruit, and so I gave this idea of where you put the fruit in here. It gets juiced, and you and then it goes down, and then where's the tubing? And then
So like we filter out like any bad chemicals,
and then
it can like a new healthier version.
yeah, and it's healthier.
You're making juice healthy.
Making juice healthy.
Wow, look at you go. And how did you decide to do this specific product? Why are you making that?
Well, we basically just brainstormed, and then we came up with something that worked.
Okay.
Because all the projects we have to combine all of our jobs.
Right.
So
My
we wanted to
computer
create something that is like bio-friendly, that's healthier, and that will and that it's functional.
And it has to involve like computers, so I'm doing a computer bit that like you can tell like when to stop.
Oh, okay. So you'll control how much juice is coming out. All right. Very
We
cool.
get these little mini computers called microbits.
Yep.
So, yeah.
And you'll use those? Okay. And how long have you been working on this idea?
Only like I think we just came up with it last time, right?
Yeah.
Okay, last class. And I heard that this class meets every other day. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you wish it was more often?
Yeah.
Would you take it every day if you could? That's awesome.
Hey,
Well, I'm
Nick,
happy to hear that.
he
I like
mentioned-
your idea very
I'm sorry.
much. Go ahead, Jimmy.
Nick, you mentioned microbits. Can you have him elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah. Tell me a little bit more about the microbit computers.
So basically it's like it's these little square rectangle shapes, and there's some lights and some that you can plug stuff in, and yeah, and you connect it to your computer, and then in the computer you can make programs to run, and it'll show flashing lights and stuff, and there are buttons, and you can push the button and do stuff. We also have butterfly kits, which are those things over there.
Okay.
And those let us use motors and sensors to control everything.
Do you want to show me a butterfly kit quick?
Nick, if you don't mind, ask how old is this guy?
They look like this. They have, I don't know, these is just some stickers.
Labels.
Yeah, this is the user guide. There's no ribbon in here. This is what a microbit looks like.
Oh, okay.
Microbit.
That's what you're going to use for
this
your
is what we're gonna use.
product. All right.
And then there's just various sensors and wires.
Yeah, cool.
This is the main like Arduino thingy.
Right. And how did you know how to use any of this? The microbit, the hummingbird kit, any of that before this class?
Yeah, I knew how to do the microbit, but only a little.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you like that you get to use that in here?
Definitely.
Definitely. Very good. All right. Well, thanks for showing that to me. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good luck with your project. All right. Well, we are about at time for looking at student work. We're going to take a quick minute here to get some students into another room that's a little bit quieter for a student panel. So we will be right back in about 2 minutes.
Nick, that was a great looking. That's the energy that we always see. Love it. Just give us one quick sec here, folks, while he gets the kids in a different room, get a little bit more quiet, and we're going to do a Q&A with those students. And just a reminder, if you have any questions that come up or anything that arises, feel free to toss that into the chat. We will get to those a little bit later in the presentation. But if this is a great time to enter something in that you were thinking of that you want that you would want an answer to. I want to know what grade that is too. Just the student that's talking about microbits and computer programming and 6th grade. Fantastic. Thank you, Sandra. And another reminder that following The student panel discussion, we'll have a conversation with 3 of our panelists from around the United States. Educators, administrators are going to share their stories with PLTW Gateway and their experience in bringing that program into their school and district. So hang on shortly, and we'll get Nick back up on camera as they prep. There we go.
Hey, Jimmy.
Hey, Nick.
All right, we are back with 4 students from Miss Gleason's class, and they've agreed to be on a little panel here and answer some questions from us to better understand what their PLTW experience looks like. So we'll start with an easy one. What is your favorite part of your Project Lead the Way class? Who wants to take that? Sure.
My favorite part of Project Lead the Way is that we get new material almost every
Cameron
day.
Staten, please report to Ms. Johnson's office at 317. Cameron Staten, please report to Ms. Johnson at 317. Thank you.
We get almost new material every day, and then we get supplied with a lot of supplies, like the microbit, which I really like. It's almost like a Arduino One controller, and I made a dimmer and a LED and an RGB. It was really fun
Very nice. And when did you do that? Was that this year or in a previous year?
this year.
That was this year. Okay. And
In
we
the past week.
in the past week. Okay. And will you use that for the rest of this year? What you learned from learning how to use that in other projects?
Yes.
Good. Good. Anyone else want to share anything that you really like about your PLTW class?
I really like the environment because my class on the A Day 5th hour, we're a really small class. So it's nice and quiet, but we can all just work at our own pace. So that's what I really like about it.
Okay. You kind of get to take it at the speed that you need to. And I heard from some other students out there that you meet every other day for this class. And some of them said they wish they had this class every day. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a good way to start your day. This is your first class of the day today, right? Or you're starting it today. You are.
Yeah.
Right. So another question then, this class obviously has a lot of STEM concepts in it, right? Is that something you might be interested in pursuing a career in, going to school for?
Maybe so, because I'm really into STEM and incorporated stuff. So maybe so I might go to a STEM college or something.
Okay. All right.
I'm really interested in STEM. I like building things with Lego, and I like looking at new technology. And I'm also on Miss Gleason's STEM team, and we're coming up with a competition, which I'm really excited for too.
Okay. And do you think you are more interested in STEM now that you've been able to take a class like this?
Yes.
You know more about it? Do you think you'll take more PLTW classes
Yeah.
as you keep going through your years in school here?
Yeah.
Good. What's the hardest part about this class? Who wants to take that one?
I think the hardest part is starting a new project because we're really trying to learn the new unit. And I think brainstorming as well, because we have to come up with new ideas. And if it's like a very elaborate project we have to come up with, that's pretty hard.
So the getting started is the hardest part. And what do you do when you're kind of hitting a snag with getting started, when it's hard to think of an idea or hard to get started? What do you do in this class to get going?
I think we talk to Miss Gleason, and we also look online for ideas as well.
Okay. And if Miss Gleason doesn't have the answer, where else could you go? So you've looked online, you've asked the teacher, what else might you do to kind of figure out where to go next?
I think we would probably ask some other students, like if they have any opinions, or probably ask other people that we know that have experience in STEM.
Okay. Okay. Anyone else want to share something that you think is maybe challenging in Project Lead the Way? Or it's mostly just fun? Yeah.
What about if an idea fails?
So when one of our ideas fails, first what we do is we go back to our main plan that we had, our main resource that we had to, and we also look at what we did wrong and how we could possibly improve it, or we share it with other peers, teachers, or parents, family members that we have, and get their input on it.
Okay.
And then what do you do?
And then we try and fix it and see it's any better, if we need to fix it again, if we have to go through the design process again.
Good. So thinking about a lot of the different, sounds like you've done a lot of different things. I've heard microbits. I've seen the designs you're working on out there today. Out of all of the PLTW activities or projects that you've done this year, which one's been your favorite?
Probably the puzzle, because it was a challenging experience, but it was also pretty fun to do.
Tell me about the puzzle project. What did you have to do?
So we basically, as like a team and a group, we had to put together a puzzle that our team chose, and we had to try to work together to get the puzzle done.
And then in addition, what do you have to do after you finish the puzzle? What do you guys have to do?
We had to make a design for a frame to put around the puzzle and turn it into like a picture.
And what are we gonna do with those when they're done? They're not actually done yet, but what are we gonna do?
We're gonna probably like hang them around the school in the lower campus, some of them.
Awesome.
Very cool. What other projects have been fun? Did you all just like the puzzle one the most, or does anyone have a different one?
I especially like this one because we get to take our own ideas and put it and like combine all of our engineering careers, and we get to build our own thing with the materials that we have.
Good. What's yours?
I also like this one because that my teammates we can be creative of how we can make all of our careers the same, but we all have different jobs.
Okay, and you like that? You like that you can just focus on one specific job as a part of your group instead of having to do all of it yourself? So you have a lot of supplies in there. You have this amazing makerspace in here. You have all kinds of stuff. There's kids, I can see kids right now standing up and grabbing new items, putting things together. Do you like that you kind of have to pick things up and put them together like that? Or do you prefer something a little more straightforward? Because that's pretty unique to this class. Is that a fun component of it, or is it hard?
In my opinion, I like having just stuff on a table and then trying to make something new out of it, because even though you might fail, you still learn from that mistake that you had.
Did you have something to add?
Honestly, I prefer just to have like, just get my own stuff and build on my own, because I don't really like having someone give me something, because I like to be creative on my own side.
Okay, so you like just having all kinds of different things to use, but being able to choose which ones will work best for you.
Mm-hmm.
Very good, very good.
Hey, Nick, could you ask the students who's PLTW for? What students?
Yeah, who would you say PLTW is for? Who would you say should take PLTW classes?
I think it's really for everyone, like, because if you're really into STEM or into engineering, you'll definitely enjoy this. But if you're just wanting to try something new, or if you want to get into engineering, then you can also come to this class.
Okay, so you don't have to be someone that necessarily wants to be an engineer. You think anyone can take it? Would you recommend it to all of your classmates?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. What other questions, Ms. Gleason? What else do you think the students would like to tell us about?
So we spent a lot of time at the beginning of the year really getting to know each other. What was our very first project that you guys had to work together on doing to help you brand yourself, basically?
I'll come back.
The first project we had was we had to make a team name. Then after that, we had to put our names on there. It was like a little tent with our team name on there.
That besides that was just get to know each other. But like then from that, you guys had to design what for your team?
Oh, team logo.
Team logo. Tell me more about the team logos.
So the team logo, we all put in something different. For my team, we took something out of like our personality and we put it in the logo. And in the logo, when we were designing the logo, we used different sites and we kind of like mixed the logo with the different sites, and we figured out a way that all our logos could like match together.
Okay, very cool. Well, that about wraps us up. You guys can go back to your class and having fun.
Nick,
for actual activity.
I've got one quick question that was in the chat
Sure.
about the microbits. Could you have Miss Gleason kind of elaborate on what the microbits are, the storage of them, how they all work in her classroom?
Yeah, we will. Let's do that. I'm going to send the students back in so they can keep working on their projects, and Ms. Gleason will hang out here for a couple minutes with us to answer that. Thank you.
Okay, guys, come on, keep working, and I'll be
Stand by 1 second on that, Jimmy. So were you able to hear the question?
Yes, the
Okay.
microbits.
Yeah, tell us a bit more about that.
The microbit technology, microbits are microcontrollers that the kids that actually have like LED lights built into them, sensors built into them, and the kids can learn then how to program them to do different things. So we're able to introduce like block coding to them with it. And then I have something called a hummingbird kit, which had been designed to work with a lot of different coding programs, such as microbits. And the kits themselves have like motors, LED lights, speakers. So the kids now then can code their microbit along to control the motors, the LED lights, and the sounds. And now they can implement those and put them into their project to say, get a door to move back and forth, or some of them are integrating games in there. So then if someone gets something right, a buzzer can sound or lights can flash. So they have to, so we have rubrics. So if they want to get advanced, they have to integrate advanced technology into their projects. And we introduce technology all the time in my class, and I'm constantly having them, reminding them of what they've learned and how they can use it in projects and how they can use it in their other classes with their other projects. That maybe is one of my #1 goals, is for them to understand that STEM isn't a subject by itself. It's something that should be integrated in everything. So
beautiful. Your 6th graders are doing that level of programming. That's amazing.
Yeah. Oh my
That's
God,
amazing.
they're so smart too. I'm just amazed by them. Like you said, I just introduced microbits a week ago, and they all know how to use them, and they're all learning. And it's
almost
amazing.
every group talked
Every
about
group.
using the microbits.
And I only taught one kid in every group, and they taught each other. So it was
beautiful.
Amazing. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Mhm.
Jimmy, I know we only have a minute or two. Were there any other questions in the chat that would be appropriate for Ms. Gleason?
Without a doubt. Yeah, there was one that was talking about assessments. Ms. Gleason, how do you assess your students?
So I create rubrics for the kids that are all tied to projects. I don't do any type of tests like true and false or multiple choice tests. We just do all projects, and everything's based on the assessments. And so the kids are given those beforehand, so they know exactly what they need to do if they want to get an advanced or a proficient. I kind of design my own assessments based on what I see in the modules and stuff, and the expectation. Because I only get the kids for like a semester, a year in total, I try to take bits and parts from all the modules in Project Lead the Way and kind of integrate them all into one project, so that they're getting like they're touching base on all of the standards and expectations, and that they can meet it in one project. So every project here meets all the standards that they need to do. So
because of a time constraint, you have adapted, you've changed the implementation in order to fit your needs.
Absolutely, yeah, because there's no way, I mean, each module is about a semester as it is, so there's no way I could get through all of them. So I just take the best from them and kind of implement them together. So
especially when you only see them every other day.
Yeah.
Any other questions, Jimmy?
I don't think specifically in the chat.
Okay. I'm sure you're providing contact info, and I hope all the participants know they can reach out at any time and we could discuss any of their questions further. But with that, I will send it back to you, and we will say goodbye to 𝐲𝐻𝐻 School, and a very loud thank you to Ms. Gleason for
Thank
your
you.
hospitality
This is
and letting your kids talk to us today. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Nick. I appreciate all of you guys being here, and the kids were really excited and love it. So thank you very much.
Back to you, Jimmy.
Thank you, Ms. Gleason, and thank you, Nick. I love hearing the opportunity or having the opportunity, excuse me, to see PLTW students in action. It's always amazing to hear the high level connections that they make, and that they're 6th graders when that student started talking about microbits and programming, and I was like, hey, he's got to be in 8th grade. And then we hear that he's in 6th grade. It's too cool. Now let's hear from other educators from other schools and districts. I'd like to welcome our panelists. I would like to welcome Dr. Maria Cavallo Bankbrain, Mr. Matt Ornelas, and Mr. JP Pablo. Thank you for joining us today to share your insight and experience with PLTW Gateway. Let's get started with brief introductions. Could you all please share your school, your district, role, and connection to your PLTW programs? Maria, would you like to get us started?
Sure. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Happy you're here with us today. My name is Dr. Maria 𝐭𝐡𝐢𝐬. I am the junior high principal at American Heritage School in Palm Beach. We are a PK3 through 12th grade private school owned by a family. There are 2 campuses. They're separate, one in Broward County, one in Palm Beach County. I was a previous science department chair and science teacher, so I have a huge passion for STEM. I love the hands-on, minds-on learning piece, and looking forward to hearing about everyone else and sharing our thoughts with you.
Fantastic. Thanks, Maria. Matt, you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. Welcome, everybody. My name is Matt Ornelas, and I'm an assistant principal at Greenfield Middle School in Bakersfield, California. We started Project Lead the Way in our district about 7 years ago, and it is an outstanding program and one that I'd like to talk more about when we get the chance during this conference.
Fantastic. JP, you're up next.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is JP Pablo. I am the Dean of Science and Technology at St. Joseph Academy. We started Project Lead the Way about 5 or 6 years ago with just one 6th grade gateway unit, and then it stemmed to all of this big program. So it's very exciting to be able to talk about it.
Well, thank you all for joining us. Maria, on to the questions. I'd like to start with you. Can you explain what PLTW Gateway looks like at American Heritage?
Absolutely. We are currently offering design and modeling, automation and robotics, and app creators. It's just engineering piece and computer science piece. It's amazing to see what the students do with, hands-on, minds-on learning, tinkering, putting together, not having success, then working through the challenges, and then building that success as a team and even as an individual student. And also the support that the teachers get is amazing through PLTW. The collaboration is incredible. They can communicate with PLTW teachers across the nation. It is a very supportive system and really opens students' mind to STEM and that hands-on, minds-on learning.
So you mentioned the collaboration with other PLTW teachers across the nation. Can you elaborate a little bit more on that?
There are different platforms and spaces where you can, discuss with other teachers what they're doing, how they get organized, or what they do in their classroom to support the student, how they can take PLTW out of the classroom and maybe be part of a competition or be part of, I don't know, an engineering week somewhere. So it's a really great supportive, it builds teacher confidence. Which is fabulous because, maybe the teachers never experimented with certain key pieces in, let's say, design and modeling, and it just, you supply the teacher with the tools necessary to be successful and feel confident.
Fantastic. Thanks, Maria. Hey, Matt, our participants were able to see PLTW in action earlier this morning. Seeing you were instrumental in bringing PLTW to Greenfield Union School District. Can you speak on why you advocated to bring Gateway to your students?
Yeah, we're 100% free and reduced lunch school district, very, very low socioeconomics. And when we were approached to bring this to the district, we thought that this was a great opportunity to get our kids some experience and some exposure to things that they normally would not get. When we started the program, we started with one section, and that was design and modeling. And it was at a previous school that I was at. We had such success at that site that the superintendent moved me to another school, and it's where I'm currently at Greenfield Middle School. And I've been here 5 years, and in 5 years, we've now grown the program to 38 total sections with 7 or 8 pathways that we are doing. We've integrated it into our core science classes. We've integrated it into our ELD classes, and our 6th grade RSP teacher will be getting trained this year to integrate it into our RSP program. And last year we started integrating it with our SDC classes, where our SDC students are pushing into the mainstream regular classroom, and the success that we're having across the board is just amazing.
When you say RSP, and what was the other acronym?
SDC, it's a special day class, and the resource class, it's for our students that are in our special education programs. So those are students that typically do not get electives, but we started integrating into it, like I said, last year, and the success we've had with those students, it's absolutely amazing. Those students, they can think outside the box, and the joy that you see when some of those kids with their projects that they do just makes it all worthwhile.
That's too cool. Thanks for sharing, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
We touched on PLTW professional development today, but JP, here I thought I had a lot of core trainings under my belt, being a PLTW engineering teacher for 10 years. But after looking at your profile and your professional development list, I'm humbled. You have been trained in 4 gateway units, automation and robotics, medical detectives, magic of electrons, and green architecture, as well as launch teacher training and launch lead teacher training. Can you speak on the PLTW core training experience for us and how it has shaped your teaching?
Yeah, absolutely. Like to say, like, I'm blessed to be able to do all that stuff. So I'm grateful for my school to be able to send me all those things, to all those trainings. But after going to one of the trainings, it was my first one was at automation robotics, and I was able to go to a college. So being in that kind of environment helped me try to shape my classroom into that kind of environment that the college has. So when I came back to after core training to teach the class, I was able to maneuver my classrooms and kind of be able to like teach the way the college or my master teachers were able to do it. So I thought that was cool to do. And after that 1 year, I just kept volunteering because there was a need for the implement of a STEM program in our school. So I was able to be sent to another college as well. And then it kind of made the experience a little bit better. But then unfortunately, after the pandemic, everything became virtual, which was fine. But I was able to accommodate myself to help with that kind of situation, and be able to still like share the same experiences in my core courses. One of the cool things I was able to do with being a launch teacher or launch lead teacher was to help my colleagues here at school to be trained in the launch program without them being sent out, and then also to help them gave them a resource if they need help, and then I'm able to push in the classroom. They will bounce off ideas with me, and they had that sort of experience and share with the classroom teachers was very important.
That's awesome. What JP is referring to when he says launch is our pre-K through 5 program, and a lead teacher is somebody who has been trained, then implements a module, and then is trained again to become a lead teacher so that they can then train their building. It's just an awesome model, really sustainable, and like JP said, having the opportunity to just be that coach for the other classroom teachers is just fantastic. Matt, I see that you partnered with California Polytech University to develop the Femineer program at your middle schools. Can you explain what that is for us and the role that PLTW played in that program?
Yeah, well, PLTW got us off the ground, got us started, and we went to one of the STEAM conferences and saw this program that Cal Poly Pomona, San Diego State, and University of Iowa do, and it's called the Femineers. And one of the things that we were noticing is in our PLTW programs was the lack of female participation, and we wanted to promote that. And so the Femineer program is a program that focuses on female students becoming engineers. And so it's an after-school program. They recommend that you have about 15 to 20 students in there at a time. Right now we are running, we'll run 2 sections with over 80 females. The interest keeps growing every single year, and we've had to keep adding teachers to do it, which is a good thing. And now if you look in our PLTW classes, it's about 50-50 with boys and girls. So the interest has now switched from just a male dominated class to females. And we actually have 1 or 2 classes where I would say it's almost 80 to 90% girls in those classes, as opposed to what it's been historically flipped.
That's fantastic. That's awesome. Maria, with your experience in the classroom as a classroom teacher, school administrator, principal in your school district, who would you say that PLTW is for?
It is for students in PK through 12th. It's for everyone. Not only students benefit, the teachers benefit. Anyone can do this. The tools that you provide to support the classroom are exceptional and really broadens their science and STEM, all all STEM experiences.
And you taught PLTW, correct?
No, I didn't actually teach it. We got it about 6 years ago, so I missed that. So I am a big
Okay.
promoter of it at my school, because I do love all the hands-on, minds-on learning. And so we have an engineering program, a robotics program, computer science program. So I'm a big proponent and STEM pusher at school. I like all things related to that. So I wish I was part of that as a teacher. Now I see it as the outsider. Yeah, I'm the outsider looking in and really cheering them on.
I'm jealous too. After seeing those students again today, it's like, man, it's
yeah.
just
I was like,
energy.
can I be in the classroom again just to do that?
Yeah, it looks like so much fun, so engaging. You know, fun's like that word that people want to remove from education, and it's not fun. We need engaging, but you can have both fun and engaging, and that is what PLTW does.
Correct.
That's fantastic. JP. Question for you. Did you have any aha moments for your students and teachers when you were implementing PLTW Gateway?
I'll start with the teachers first. When I would push in with the classrooms, they're like, why do I have to leave them alone? And I was like, because it's better. I was like, just let them make the mistakes. They learn better. They don't want to make those mistakes again. And I think that's one of their teaching moments for them, is that they want to be able to let them figure things out on their own, which I think was more important than being in front of the classroom and saying, this is what you have to do. And that's it. So I always tell them it's more open-ended, and it's a lot easier for you as a teacher to sit back and watch the kids have their own conversation, basically teach themselves, than you having stressed out and saying how much you have to cover during the time. And for the students, a lot of times they just get really excited about the equipment that they're using when they're building things. So obviously I teach 4 different modules, and they all come with 4 different types of equipment. So right now we're in the middle of medical detectives, and we just finished growing the bacteria. So they would blow their minds. They would never even have thought they would be doing this in 7th grade, or even in junior high, especially in a place like in New York City. They would just read about it in the books. So when they would go home and talk about, like, oh, I grew bacteria in an incubator, and they know what the incubator is, or they know what the agar plates are. So it's nice to see that they use those vocabulary in the classroom. Then when they go home and tell their friends or their parents, all those cool things that we do.
That's awesome. You talked about the transition that the teacher has to make from becoming, kind of how you said it, like the sole proprietor of like. That's what I wanted to ask you. And it's a shift. It's a shift in mindset when it comes to, when you're teaching PLTW, it's not a sit and get, stand lecture. It's quite the opposite. The roles are reversed, and the students are ones that are explaining it to you. Yeah. And so can you just talk about, like you said, it's hard for them. Can you just speak on that transition?
I'm working close with a 3rd grade teacher, and I was like, you have to let them make their mistakes. And I know it's hard for you, and I know we don't have a lot of time to do it, because there's only like a 40-minute period. But after maybe like 3 sessions with me, she was like, okay, I have to learn. I have to learn. And I was like, yeah. Then she kind of started implementing it in her own like lessons outside of Project Lead the Way. So like in her math lessons or in ELA lessons. So it kind of helps build that bridge to other classes or other subjects. And especially this year I only teach Project Lead the Way, but last year I taught science and Project Lead the Way. So I kind of brought that into my science lessons as well. It kind of helped the kids understand you more as a teacher. And then it kind of gave them an accountability of how they're supposed to be taking notes. And ultimately, when the assessment comes, and they're really responsible for their own learning. And of course, you're there to help them out. And I always, when we did the core training, I always said you have to pay attention to the level of frustration for the kids. Like you can't get them to the point where they're breaking down, but to the point where of like good productive frustration, I'd like to say, where they are able to learn on themselves and reflect on that.
Yeah. So how long do you think that shift takes for, I feel like for teachers, it might be longer, but could you speak on both that shift from teachers and then students, how long that transition kind of takes? Because, school kind of teaches students to sit and get almost, I hate to say that term is a bit overused, but can you just explain, the timeline of that transition when you start to see that aha happen? The longer you teach, the longer you've been teaching, I think that it takes a little while to get that kind of transition. I think when you're fresh out of school and you have someone modeling the set for you, it is a little easier.
But in terms of students, it might take a it might take a good month or so, because they're always looking at you. They're like, am I doing this right? Am I doing this right? And I'm like, I said, you need to figure it out. Or like, what do I do next? I know. And then my robotics class yesterday, like, there's no instructions. I said, yeah, I know. Figure it out. There's a picture, I said.
I always said that PLTW plan that did it on purpose. That's it.
Yeah,
You've got another problem, and let's learn how to solve that problem.
And
I
also
always
gives
call
them,
my
like, it gives them a time to like just be more independent and free thinking that way.
yeah, that's fantastic. I asked Maria this question, but I'm going to ask you this as well. You know, who's PLTW for in your eyes?
I think it is for everyone. We're lucky to have that bridge from the launch program to the high school program in my school. I don't really work for the high school, but they have their, like, as students have progressed from when we started, when the junior high to the high school, they've seemed a lot easier to be a more well-rounded student.
That's awesome. So you've seen the difference from having launched to Gateway and then,
Yes.
you know, pushing them on to the high school level.
Yeah, and actually, like, you know, then as a project lead teacher, when they come into your classroom, they're like, what are we doing today? Or if I push into a launch classroom, they're like, yay, he's here.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, that's awesome.
nice to see.
Yeah. Hey, Matt, I got a question for you. As a district administrator who's developed a strong pre-K through 8 STEM implementation plan, can you share more on how Greenfield Middle School has funded their program?
Yeah, we were approached, like I said, we started 7 years ago by Chevron. They're big in Kern County, and they offered to do a matching grant. And so our district jumped on it, and it started with, they gave us $30,000 and the district matched it. And so that's how it started. Since then, the district has seen the benefits of it, and they've provided substantial funds for us. Not to mention, I go out and pound the pavement and apply for grants and do what I can to get funding. But I will say I'm very fortunate to work in a district where the superintendents believe in this. In 7 years, we've now implemented it at 3 middle schools. We just started this year with 3 of our 8 elementary schools, with plans on doing 3 more next year and then 2 the following year. So every school in our district will have it. But anything that we've wanted here at our site, the superintendents have pretty much allowed us to. We had an old shop room that was just outdated, and we were able to get rid of that. And we now have probably close to $200,000 worth of laser cutters, UV printers, embroidery machines, 3D printers that, in my opinion, is better than our Cal State Bakersfield's Fab Lab. And we do field trips for kids from inside our district elementary schools to come here and participate that. And so we're starting that excitement and enjoyment at an early age and promoting it to hopefully that they'll want to come here when they get into junior high.
That's awesome. Hey, quick question for you. What did it take to get your superintendent fully bought in on board? Like, what did that process look like?
This is number 2, the superintendent that we've had. The first superintendent said, yeah, we'll try it for a year. We'll see what happens. And he liked what we did. And so we were able to start it, go from 1 class to, or 1 section to, I think, 5 sections that first year. And that's when the transition hit. And we do a Project Lead the Way / Femineer showcase at the end of the school year, where all of our students showcase what they've done throughout the year. And we always invite parents, students, teachers, and then superintendents. Well, the new superintendent came in and liked it so much that when he started that following year, he said, we need to grow this program, and I'd like you to just peripherally start it at one of the other middle schools. I said, sure. That one took off and did well. And then he goes, okay, I'm going to move you to the last school, and I need you to do that there. And so I've been here now for 5 years at Greenfield, and he just is tremendously supportive, and he makes it a point to find the money for, if there's something we want or we need, he will do what he can to try and find the money. That's awesome.
So you got him in the classroom, and that's, or showed them, you know, through your events and everything else, just the impact that's happening on your kids.
Yeah, and it goes back to what you asked earlier. Who is it for? It's for everybody. Like I said, our ELD students, they get it as part of their ELD daily curriculum. And I know this last year was kind of funny. We had some of our students that ended up passing and getting out of the ELD. Well, they are extremely upset because they said, well, we're not going to have this fun elective. And our teacher was telling them, no, you don't understand. you're getting like 10% of this program in your ELD classes. Now you can have that as a full elective every single day of the week. And so just those are things that give that incentive to do better and to get further for each student on our campus.
Thanks so much, Matt. Maria, I think we've got time for one more question. Matt was kind of talking about how he got, how PLTW up and off the ground and started. Could you speak to that about American Heritage?
So several years ago, we wanted to launch our engineering program in junior high and middle school, and computer science program. And we wanted to find a support system that would help create that hands-on, minds-on learning. So we started with launch in our elementary school. So we have a sort of makerspace lab, 2 teachers trained to give access to those students. And as they move on into middle or junior high school, we offer the computer science piece, the engineering piece. There's also after-school activities that, help them, broaden their horizons a little further as we participate in different, competitions across the United States with like Florida Lego League. That knowledge that they learn in PLTW helps them, move forward in the club aspect. And then as they move on into high school, we have a big engineering and robotics program at our school. So it was really a great way to get it in. It's really organized and detailed. You don't have to think too much of how do I do this. It's given to you, and any software needs. I mean, you can buy the supplies through PLTW if you want to. There's so many ways to make it easy and really getting it implemented quickly into your school.
You talked about the purchasing of supplies through PLTW. How does that process work?
I don't actually do that, but I know that PLTW does offer online store, for lack of a better word, where you can buy things. I saw someone asked a question about the software. You get access to the software for the courses that you're offering and where your teachers have been trained. So you do have to send your teachers to the training to be a PLTW certified teacher, as JP said earlier. So there's access to everything.
Awesome. Well, I just want to thank you all so much for taking the time to share your perspectives and successes. For our audience, we will move to the Q&A very shortly, but please allow me to share that we're happy to support you with next steps. We recommend that you connect with a PLTW team member to discuss any questions you have. Many of us have spent time in the PLTW classroom, time as administrators, and we love talking about these programs. We're putting the email in the chat for you all now. And it'll be in the follow-up email as well. So please don't hesitate to reach out. Other ways to get some information, you can visit our website at pltw.org. On our middle school program page, you can use the range of resources to learn more, to think through your planning questions. And you can also read blog stories, explore our other programs, see impact studies, and see how other schools have unlocked potential with PLTW. Now for your questions. Let me pull this up real quick. I apologize. I've got a question that says, a recommendation for organization of all parts and kits. When you're purchasing supplies through PLTW, it will come in a kit. So if you're purchasing for a unit, it's going to come in that specific kit. We offer storage units and compartments that come with that order, a one-stop shop. About once you're in the store and you purchase everything, we've got the storage options that are in there. There's also other storage options that are out there. And so, being connected to that community and reaching out to others and asking for that, you'll have hundreds of people. So once you get trained in a unit for PLTW Gateway, you're connected to everybody else in the country that is trained in that unit. And so we've got a community board on mypltw.org where you can post a question and that goes out to absolutely everybody. So others will reply. Everybody, once you become a PLTW teacher, kind of becomes part of a club. And you heard, JP kind of talk about that and Maria talk about that. But it's a thing. You see each other walking around. Somebody's wearing a shirt or something like that, and it's a nod, it's a handshake, it's a high five. It's a what courses do you teach? And it's something. I'm getting the chills right now. It's pretty cool. Another question is, my school will be using PLTW. Is there a list of materials somewhere? What comes with the Gateway program? So when you decide to participate in a Gateway program, there's 3 buckets. There's participation fee, there's professional development, and then there's equipment and supplies. If you're looking for a list of equipment and supplies, just reach out to a PLTW team member. You can do that by contacting our solution center, replying to the email that's going to be sent to you all, and you'll get in touch with your individual that will walk you through everything, share any information that you possibly need. Another one is when you purchase PLTW, do you get access to all programs? Yes, the answer is yes. Like I said, there's the 3 buckets of investment. First one being participation fee. With that participation fee, you have access to all 10 of those units. All you need is a teacher trained in that unit, and that course is open wide up for you. We've got, let's see, one more question, I think. PLTW launch was briefly mentioned. Is it full access to all modules? Same thing with PLTW launch. With that participation fee, you have access to all 43 modules. There are very few schools out there doing all 43, but you have access to all 43. So it's a plug and play. You're going to fit the needs of your school, your community, and your students. Let's see, I think that I have got through all of those questions. So I just want to thank everybody for coming today. Oh, we got one more that just came in. How long are the trainings per unit? Are they in person this year? They are not in person right now. We are doing fully virtual for obvious reasons. And then hopefully with plans to go back to in-person training, but they are 40 hours for the majority of the modules or the units, excuse me. There are some that are 24. So there's 6 that are 40 hours and then 4 of them that are 24 hours. And so that's 20 hours of synchronous with a master teacher in a cohort. And then the other 20 is completing the coursework. Okay. We are eager to share more, so please use the contact info for further discussion about your specific needs and watch for that email from us. From all here at PLTW, thank you and have a great rest of your week.